Hi everyone, I wanted to go over assignment 10, recipe conversion. So let's say you want to add 2 new recipes to your appetizer menu. One using bacon since you're already using it for lunch and dinner recipes, and another one using seitan, a vegetarian option. So I want you to research 2 recipes online and then copy the URLs and place a link underneath that appropriate conversion table. In your workbook, create 2 new worksheets for each one of these recipes. Label them accordingly. C, bacon, your conversion bacon recipe, and then C, seitan for your seitan recipe. There are 2 examples in the book. Well, it's really the same one. On page 186, it has one already filled out for you, and then a blank one on page 201. Now I want you to convert these recipes that will make 60 servings each. All the normal formatting standards will apply. So I have a couple different examples. What could make this week's assignment a little tricky is depending on what your servings are and how much it yields. And it might look a little, it might be vague. So the first example I have is kind of vague, and that's why I want to bring this one up. So I picked some of these seitan veggie crowns. Now when we look through it, there is no yield. It's just that's going to make 24 of the crowns. Now is that a normal serving size? Is that you're not going to serve somebody 24 of these? So then you need to think realistically, how many are you going to serve? I've made this recipe a lot. I really enjoy it. It's pretty yummy. I would say 3 per serving size. You may be, and even on your menu, make it a small one or a big one, maybe 3 and 6. So this is all left to your discretion when you use a recipe like this, when it doesn't give a specific serving size. So I've already transferred all the ingredients over along with the recipe amount in the conversion table. So as you can see, actually almost none of this needs to be converted. That's the only thing I don't like about this recipe. So over here you have your recipe amount and then you have your new amount. So that would be changing it to the lowest form possible. And the extra video I gave you, they did not do it till the end. Either way will really work. If you choose to do it at the end, that's fine, so then you won't need this new amount. Honestly, I just want to make this what works best for you. So maybe, if depending on the recipe, if you're going to scale down, you might want to move these to 6 teaspoons. And then I left this open just so I could show you guys formats on how to make this look like this, or this look like that. So you just want to merge and center these guys. You can put them together and then you can shrink up the rows. But keeping the numbers and the words separate is going to make it easier to do the formula inside Excel. If you are having a hard time using the formulas in Excel, please leave the information below the table so I know where your math is and I can help you if something was incorrect. That's a little too small. Okay. So like I said, this recipe will make 24 crowns. And that's not a realistic one. So like I said, 3. So 24 divided by 3, we're going to get 8 servings out of this recipe. And we need to have 60. So that's our conversion right there. So we need 60 divided by 8. Oh, forgot the equal, sorry. So that makes our conversion factor 7.5. So over in the converted amount, we'll just equals the conversion factor multiplied by the recipe amount. So then I'll have 15 teaspoons. And then there's more math. So we need how many teaspoons? We're not going to take the time to dish out 15 teaspoons. That would yield to 5 tablespoons. Oh, that's kind of funky. That's a big abbreviation. There we go. Or if you want to make it even different, it could be 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon. I do have in the additional resources this week some extra conversion tables for people that don't have this on the top of their head. Like I said, just make sure any information that is not here, put down below so I know how to help you guys get to the right amount. Now that we have that all figured, we can do it real easy. We can just move this conversion down and move this formula down. So click on it in this little square here when you get that black plus, and you can just move it on down. Oh, it took out my coloring. And then the same thing over here with that conversion formula. You can pull it down. Bam, it does all the work for you. Oh yeah, that value is to taste. You're not going to be able to taste that. So then you need to pull the rest of the amounts over. So this would be 180 each. 60 ounces. 1.875 cups. So you see these aren't exactly the easiest to understand. That didn't work out. Oh, see, that didn't work. So when I pulled that down, it did not get the new factor. So this one, you're going to have to change that one. There we go. So so I guess depending on how much needs to be converted is how much you can, try to go the easy way and just pull the information down. So either way, you're multiplying the conversion factor by the recipe amount. Like I said again over here, make it easier to read. You're not going to get that really any easier. You need 180 of them. 60 ounces, you can figure out ounces. You can put that into cups, pints, quarts, just depending on how far it goes. And this one, you're just going to need to use your judgment. How close are you going to get to 1.875? So you can see not everything converts very easily. If this is what you want your final answer to be, it might be a little bit hard. This might be something you actually have to move down into ounces. You might have to take a step back and move this into ounces. So there's 8 ounces in a cup, and we only need 1/4 of that. So we might change that to 2 ounces. And maybe for the other video, maybe that's why they decided to do the conversion at the end. So that's definitely a lot easier to understand. There's your 15 ounces. So you're going to have to kind of play around and find what works for you. Maybe a recipe isn't going to work and you might have to pick a new one. So then here I put the link down below. And here's another one that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, come on, work with me here. Not responding. Thank you. Okay. I think I still have it up anyways. Oh. All right. So for this Martha Stewart one, this is a big tart. And it's going to yield 12 servings. Let me show you to get a picture. So here, so you're looking at that. I mean, unless you have a big table, that might not work very well. So this 12 servings might become 4. You might make that, you have to shrink the recipe in order to get the correct serving size and then multiply it to get the correct amount of servings. A recipe like this might be a little much to handle. If you want to, that's fine. Like I said, just leave information below the table on where your thought was. Another recipe I have using bacon. This is a good one. It could be made ahead of time. It can be left over very well. Excuse me. So this is just a bacon and corn dip. Oh, I think the recipe is below. So here it yields 14 servings. So once again, you need to find out how many, well, 14 servings. So that's going to be one person, one serving. So how many is that going to lead to make an actual appropriate serving size to feed at a restaurant, not at a dinner party? So this is, a lot of these recipes you're going to find online are more for your home use than in a restaurant use. This is where we would need to think about how much the whole recipe yields in volume and then divide it into a shareable appetizer for the table. This assignment can be tricky depending on what recipe you use. Please email me if you have any questions on how this works. You just need to have one with bacon and one with seitan. So whatever recipe you find that works best for you, if you just find, you know, like a single one and you multiply it by 60, please do that. Don't be afraid to email with questions for further explanation. Like I said, I know this one's a little bit tricky. The most important part is just the math, not necessarily how well this works in a commercial kitchen. Yes, please email me with any questions. I will be right on. For faster response, please use the Front Range email, because I can just email you back from your phone when I'm at my other job. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit longer if you email me through D2L. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.